Good morning. Today we are at beautiful Piazza Navona. This is probably the second largest pedestrian square after Piazza del Popolo, maybe the same size. You know, it's a large piazza, large square. We're standing right in front of a fountain called Fountain of Four Rivers, designed by Bernini. Gorgeous, gorgeous fountain. But we're not here today to talk about fountains or squares. I'm gonna take you down this little street called Via Coronari. I'm headed to Castel Sant'Angelo as usual. I'm there very often. So we're gonna leave this beautiful Piazza Navona, and we're gonna disappear in this little back alley. You know, the restaurants are open for breakfast, and breakfast here is not the same as breakfast, of course, in other countries. And by the way, here we have a place called Tre Scalini, okay? Don't confuse it with I Tre Scalini, which is a very, very nice restaurant at Monti neighborhood, alright? This Tre Scalini here at Piazza Navona is pretty touristy and pretty expensive. So, beautiful morning in Rome, still pretty cool. You see a few tourists here and there, but mostly locals. And you see, in Rome, you know, let's talk about food, okay? Just a few tips for you guys about food. You leave the piazza, alright? You leave the main square. Main squares are gorgeous, of course, and they're huge and lively, and you know, with fountains and things. But most of the restaurants will be really, really touristy, so lots of tourist traps. Now, to find something authentic, to find something memorable, you have to leave the main square and basically travel in any direction, alright? Just a few steps, and you'll find something much nicer, of higher quality, something genuine. So that's what we're doing now. And you see there are so many gorgeous little back alleys and side streets, and you know, people are waking up, the stores are opening, so now you're gonna see some movement here, people having breakfast. So yeah, the first tip for you would be to leave the main square. Now let me show you something here, and we'll get back to the food talk. This is called Via della Pace, you see? Via della Pace, the street of peace. And here we have a church. It's a beautiful church, too bad it's still closed. You know, maybe I'll come back to shoot it inside. It's round inside, it's beautiful. Now, and right next to this church we have Chiostro del Bramante. Bramante was one of the architects who designed St. Peter's Basilica, and now there is a temporary exhibition of Banksy. Alright, all about Banksy. Exhibition 2, because Banksy actually was here a couple of years ago. And yeah, we love him here. We love all sorts of street art. Okay, let me just show you a few examples. And look at this street here. Absolutely gorgeous. If I stumble upon a swear word on the wall, don't get mad at me. That's just the way it is. All right. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Maybe next time I'm gonna shoot something here in this neighborhood. But now we're gonna leave. I just want to show you this few buildings that remained from the medieval period, sandwiched between Renaissance or Baroque buildings. Ivy everywhere, alright? And this is just beautiful. There's so many hotels here, and Airbnbs and B&Bs that you can rent, and they're just spectacular. Alright, take a look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. Arco della Pace. Alright, this is the Arco right there. Alright, let's head back to the main focus of our video today, and let's talk about breakfast. So, by the way, Chiostro del Bramante dates back to 1500s. This is, this is a courtyard, basically, cloister of the church, and inside there's a beautiful cafe. Oh. Here you see this building right here. They're doing some renovation work, some construction work. There used to be a cafe called Caffè della Pace, owned by a family with a Canadian connection. Basically, most of the family left years ago to Toronto, alright, and Montreal. And of course, as you know, we are from Montreal. I am from Montreal. So every time I would go there, bring a tour, their group there, to take a little break, we would talk about Canada, we would talk about Toronto, we would talk about Montreal. Water. Another beautiful cafe. And you see people having breakfast. Alright? Breakfast is very simple in Italy. Breakfast, it's of course you won't see eggs, alright? You won't see pancakes, you won't see bagels, you won't see bacon or meat or beans of any kind. And if you do, that means you are at a tourist trap, alright? You will see pastries, you will see cornetti, alright, the croissant. And if you want to look like a local and act like a local, you order cornetto cappuccino, which is a croissant with a cup of cappuccino. Alright, that's your breakfast. Breakfast is very light. So you wake up, you have a little cup of coffee, a little shot of coffee, alright, espresso. And then you go for breakfast and you have your little cornetto cappuccino. So if you see meat like bacon or ham or sausages or beans and pancakes and bagels and all these things that we love, that means you're either at a touristy place or at a more modern place. Alright, and we have a few American bakeries and American breakfast places here, but let me tell you, the bagels are not the same as back home. Alright, and the bacon is not the same as back home. So take a look at this. Gorgeous, beautiful. Of course, you can tell that these are, some of these buildings are very simple, but some of these buildings are actually, former palaces where rich families used to live. We have these winding streets. Very few streets in Rome are straight. So you have to know your way around the city to avoid getting lost. But even if you do get lost, who cares? Get lost, explore, discover. Don't be afraid to get lost. People love stairs, alright, all sorts of stairs. They love taking pictures of them, they love sitting on them, they love eating around the stairs or sitting on the steps. It's beautiful. We have plenty of them. Alright, of course the main one would be the Spanish steps. Now, so yeah, the rule of thumb here, again, when it comes to food, is to avoid busy squares, especially in the center of the city, because they are designed to attract people. Alright, they're designed to attract the crowd, and many people And you would be surprised. You would be surprised how many people come here, and they always try to find the same food that they eat back home. Okay, but most of it is not real. Like, to give you an example, a couple of days ago, because I'm registered with so many groups, Italians abroad and Americans in Italy and expats in Italy, and Italian recipes and things like that, just to gather information about different things. I saw a post on a group called Real Italian Recipes by Real Italians, of a woman sharing an Italian recipe with jalapeno peppers. Okay, well, you see jalapeno, it's not Italian, but surprisingly, so many people supported her and said that jalapeno is an essential part of Italian cuisine, which we know is not. So people come looking for breadsticks and garlic bread and things like that, and of course it doesn't exist here, and they get really disappointed. But hey, don't be disappointed. Just look for the authentic stuff, and when Italians serve you Italian food in Italy, all right, understand that it's real. Okay, it's not that they don't want to feed you stuff that you're used to, but it's it's what Italians eat. Via di Simone, look at this wonderful place. All right, I talked about this place before. It's a restaurant. Okay, it's a beautiful, beautiful restaurant. There are many of them in the little streets like this. Again, stairs, ivy, and this is Coronari. All right, this street has been voted one of the most beautiful streets of Rome, and it's straight. Okay, remember we talked about these corridors created on purpose to allow people, to travel faster. Well, this is one of them. Antique shops. Beautiful. These are your real souvenirs. People sitting, eating. It's nice to see some people, because a couple of months ago it was still empty, still dead, but now we have at least some action. And then all of a sudden you see back streets like this, leading to a palace. All right, there's a palace on the other side, just tucked in, just hidden from your eyes. And of course, red is predominant here, and we call it Roman red. Actually, no matter where you go, either in Tunisia, Turkey, or Libya, or Germany or France, any ancient Roman building that you find there will have mostly red color. It's called, again, Roman red. There's Pompeian red as well. They loved red, probably because it was one of the most readily available pigments. Earth tones were very affordable. You see, flowers, flowers, flowers. It's green, and the street is pretty narrow, so you get very little light here in the street like this. So at night it's not too hot. Okay, I mean, even in the afternoon it's not too warm. It's cool. It's it's beautiful. You can breathe. So I always recommend people, I always suggest to everyone to discover streets like this. Another little boutique, another little gift shop. I'm right there. See, I got a haircut. All right, so now nice and cool. This is, of course, more touristy. You can see plaster casts of different ancient Roman monuments and things. Inscriptions above the doors. In another street. Actually, let's take a couple of steps up this street. Cobblestones. These cobblestones are not that ancient, and actually they replaced them periodically. Tiny smart car. scooter. And then we have this. Look at the chimney. Look how they added this chimney to the building to save the space inside, because inside, you know, the rooms are not gonna be very, very spacious. Sometimes it's pretty tight inside. Well, it depends on the building, of course, but most of the residential buildings here are pretty, you know, apartments are pretty small. And this is called Via Di Panico, another narrow street. So Castel Sant'Angelo is gonna be over there, and here we can go back actually to Piazza Navona. Right? Now let's go back to Via Dei Coronari. Okie dokie. Doors. I know that you just love Roman doors. Everyone does. So look at this. This is gorgeous. Now all these little elements, all these little details are just amazing. Some of it is ancient, some of it isn't, just made to look ancient. But anyways, as I told you, as I said before in the previous video, I just want to knock on that door and see who opens it. But of course it's not the right thing to do. And look at this building here, okay? Yellow building with white windows, and there's the citofono. Alright, we call it the citofono, the intercom. You buzz, and how many apartments are there? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 apartments. You know, in some tiny buildings you can see 6, 8, 10 apartments, and you're thinking, you know, how did they fit all these apartments in this one little building? And because, as I told you before, the apartments rooms are pretty small, okay? Because some of the apartment buildings now are former palaces, but most of the apartment buildings are former apartment buildings, right, for the working class people, and they're pretty tight. Look at this one here, sandwiched between two newer buildings. Actually, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings, and this tiny house right here has 14 apartments. All right, 14. So how did they fit all these apartments in there? Who knows? Coronari Bistro. So this is the name of this street. All right, Coronari. Again, one of the most beautiful streets in Rome. It's worth your time, and it's a direct link, all right, straight link between Castel Sant'Angelo and Piazza Navona. You see, we came from there, and then of course you can stop and eat and buy souvenirs and find, you know, there are pasta stores and all sorts of shops. And just take your time and explore every corner of this street. Now let's see what else we have. And there are fig trees everywhere, okay? Yeah, all over Rome there are fig trees. I wouldn't recommend you eat the fruits, but it looks good. And this is Via Di Panico. Again, it brought us here to Lungotevere. And let me show you this. there is a shop right here. Alright, shop called Er Marmo, which in Roman dialect means the marble, and they have all sorts of marble things, statues, tiles, mosaics. I mean, this is not just a souvenir shop. This is a store where you can order counters and vanities and the tabletops. And let me just show you what it looks like inside. You see all sorts of statues and things, and this is the shop right here. You see? With all their tools and marble. They restore things, they build things, and they sell things. Another marble shop. See, these are real souvenirs. If you want to take something home, you can find it all here. You see, in the old center, in the old city, we have so many shops like this. It's beautiful. But again, as I told you before, when you buy serious things, okay, real things, whether painting, statues, or mosaics, always have your, paperwork done. So when they stop you at the border, if they stop you at the border, you can prove that you're not just smuggling this stuff out of Italy, alright? That you had bought it, you paid a certain amount, you have all this, all the documents, all the paperwork, and it's legal, alright? So you're not committing a crime. Now we are at Lungotevere. I still have 20 minutes, and of course you saw this place in the previous video, but anyways, let's cross the street, get on the bridge. It's one of the longest flights in Rome. All right. So it was short, 20-minute video, raw again, uncut, of course, unedited. I'm gonna upload it in the next couple of days, and of course I'll let you know, I'll make sure to let you know on the group and on the page. And maybe at the end of the tour, because the tour ends at Largo di Toro Argentina, so the place where Caesar was assassinated, I'll make another video from there to the Colosseum. Alright, because I'm meeting someone there. So yeah, so wait for the second part as well. Alright, take care.